Welcome into New Orleans Saints Now. I'm your host, Trace Girouard, and today we're going to be talking some free agent targets that the Saints could sign now that the NFL trade deadline has passed. But before we get into that, a real quick, like literally as I hit stream, an update coming in from Field Yates. The Saints have actually signed quarterback Brett Hundley to their practice squad. There is that to keep in mind. There is that to, consider. But before we get into anything, let's look at the free agency outlook real quick. So the Saints have roughly $4.3 million in cap space. The NFC South is still currently wide open. And I know this $4.3 million in cap space thing is kind of weird, but weirdly enough, the Saints are not bottom five in cap space. That seems to be an issue, a recurring issue for the Saints. Seems to be something that is always a problem. Mickey Loomis, they call him the cap god for a reason. You run up the check, figure out how to pay it later. Don't even matter, but they have some money to spend. Kind of a weird situation to be in. We haven't been in this the Saints haven't been in this position in quite some time, at least to this extent. The NFC South is still wide open. Like I said, you're currently sitting at number 3 in the rankings. You're behind the first ranked Atlanta Falcons, gross. The second, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, we own them. And the third, Saints, fourth. We're not going to talk about the Panthers' loss. Doesn't even matter. But the NFC South is open. If you want to go make something happen, if you want to go win, be aggressive. Make something happen. Make some signings. Make something go. I'm not going to sit here and say that the Saints have to make a move. But they've been preaching all season, all offseason, that they are in win-now mode. They believe they can win. They believe they can make something happen. So if you guys want the Saints to make a move, hit the thumbs up icon. Drop a like on this video. And if you don't, hit down the comment section. Head down there. Let me know why you don't. Is it money? Is it you think the team's loaded? Is it, hey, just tank, figure it out. We'll trade away some people during the offseason, get the first round back. I don't know. Let me know. I want to make a move, but you guys let me know. Either hit the thumbs up or go down in the comments and let me know. Very first target. We would be remiss if we did not mention Odell Beckham Jr., the hometown hero, OBJ. You can't not mention him. He's a beast. He does what he does. The former LSU Tiger, the former LSU great. He is a monster. And when you look at this wide receiver depth chart, it's a hell of a lot better than it was last year when we were talking about all these OBJ rumors. I remember making plenty of videos. I remember plenty of discussions about, oh my gosh, could the Saints bring in OBJ? This is a real possibility. They have just enough to bring him in. They're competing right now. They had a lot of injuries to deal with. But with Marquez Callaway, Chris Olave, Michael Thomas, those guys leading the helm, Jarvis Landry's still hurt. You guys, there's a lot of issues there. Rashid Shaheed, he's been stepping up a lot, but if we remember anything from previous seasons, wide receiver depth never hurts. And OBJ, he's one of the best deep threat wide receivers. Yes, he has had issues in the past with injuries. Yes, he has had issues with, his character. Whatever. I don't care at this point. It's one of those things, maybe you bring the guy in, he comes in on a hometown discount because he has a Super Bowl win. Maybe he's somebody you consider. I don't know. I don't hate it. I don't love it. I think you could get away with, you could get away with signing him or passing on him. But the next guy is a familiar name, David Johnson. Now, he was a player who visited with the Saints back in June. He actually worked out for them when the Saints were looking at the Saints were still under the impression believed that Alvin Kamara was going to be facing a suspension this season due to the altercation that happened in Las Vegas during Pro Bowl weekend. David Johnson was brought in to work out as the running back 2 to work behind Mark Ingram. And if you remember, Abram Smith was around. You had Tony Jones Jr. in the mix at the point. You had Dwayne Washington. There's a lot of opportunity. There's a lot of things. David Johnson's familiar with the team. They brought him in. They brought him in to work out. No deal really ended up coming out of it, which stinks. Obviously, he's a talented running back. Last season, 67 carries, 228 yards, no touchdowns, 3.4 average. He could come in, be a running back 2 for you, help take some pressure off of Mark Ingram. You're not really seeing a ton from Dwayne Washington. I don't know why that's the case. I think you should maybe give him some looks. But if you're not liking what you see from Dwayne Washington, maybe David Johnson is an option. Ndamukong Suh. I know that this is one that the Who Dat Nation loves to talk about. And I know this is one that a lot of NFL rumors are going to be all over. I mean, Ndamukong Suh is a freak. He is a big-bodied, mean, nasty MFer. 590 tackles, 71 sacks, 130 tackles for loss, and 212 hits across his career in less than 200 games. I mean, the dude has done it all. He knows how to win in the regular season. He knows how to win in the postseason. He knows how to win in the Super Bowl. So plug him in on this Saints defensive line. that has had a little bit of issues, that has finally started getting going. It took weeks for them to get rolling, but you throw them in the mix here. The Saints' defensive lines have been known for rotations and have been known for the amount that they rotate the players in and out. Peyton Turner hasn't been doing too much for you. Marcus Davenport, we love you, brother. Shy Tuttle, he's doing great. Cam Jordan, welcome to the party. Yeah, go Vols from producer Petey. We love seeing what the Saints D-line is finally able to do, but I think that Ndamukong Suh could come in and bring a little bit more pressure, a little bit more chaos, and a little bit more anarchy to an already pretty talented defensive line. Who's going to say no to more QB pressure? Not me. Okay, so guys, let me know down in the comments. Name a player you want the Saints to sign during free agency. They can get anybody up until week 17. There's no stopping the Saints from making a move. So let me know in the comments. Who do you want the Saints to sign in NFL free agency? Now, here's one that I am actually pretty high on, and not a lot of people are, but I really like Sidney Jones. I think Sidney Jones is one of those players that you look at what he's done this season. In 3 games, 5 tackles, not that impressive. But let's consider the fact that he got beat out for his position. The Seahawks have liked what they've seen from their rookie cornerback, and it makes sense because the Saints cornerback depth chart is banged up, man. It is hurt. It is brutal. It is in pain. I mean, you got Marshon Lattimore who's out. Paulson Adebo, who honestly, here's a crazy take. Here's a crazy take, and I'm willing to stand by it. And I'm going to get into it later. Alontae Taylor might have to be CB2 over Paulson Adebo. But as we know, Bradley Roby is also on the IR. Chris Harris has actually bumped up to being the starting nickel over Justin Evans. Chris Harris, the free agency signing he was signed to the practice squad a few weeks back. This actually turned out to be a pretty solid move. He has quite a few tackles. He's been active. He hasn't just been a body on the field. He's been contributing to the Saints defense. And just like how we made a video for Chris Harris when we signed him, if the Saints make a move during NFL free agency, we're going to have you covered. We had it covered when Chris Harris was signed. We had it covered when there was Alvin Kamara news. We had it covered whenever there was Jameis Winston injury updates. We have it covered anytime that there's anything going on, any news, rumors, updates, anything notable around the team. We got you covered here at Saints Now by Chat Sports. So go down, hit the red subscribe button. It's right here. It should be like right here, I believe, like one of these two. But also hit the little notey bell so you never miss a thing. But I want to know, because Who Dat Nation's worldwide. Who Dat Nation is one of the best fan bases. And Raider Nation likes to have this thing. There's only one nation. Yeah, I'd agree. It's the freaking Who Dat Nation. So let me know. Where do you bleed black and gold from? Where are you repping the nation? Where are you repping your team from? What city are you living in? Where are you watching the Saints from? Let me know where you rep the Who Dat Nation. Next target. Sheldon Richardson, he's a guy that I don't know too much about outside of he's a freaking beast. I mean, last season he had 39 tackles, 6 tackles for loss, 2.5 sacks, 13 QB hits. 13 QB hits. I don't know how much more clear I could be when with this list of get somebody who's going to get to the quarterback. Get somebody who's going to shake some stuff up at the defense. Get somebody who's going to be a playmaker. The defense is finally getting into its groove. Guys, we all know there's only been the 2 turnovers, the 2 interceptions. Tyrann Mathieu has both of those. But there was no sacks for weeks. Well, now we're finally starting to see it work. Now we're starting to see the defense kind of get some swagger, get some of its confidence, get some of its mojo back, get some of that good juju back in their corner. And so this is why I bring up Sheldon Richardson, because veteran presence isn't a bad thing ever, especially when a team is struggling. This team should be it's significantly better than what the record shows. The roster, the team is better. They should be playing up to it. Bringing in a veteran, would it help? More than likely, and that's why I think you might want to look into Sheldon Richardson. But another guy I would consider, another running back, DeVonta Freeman. DeVonta Freeman was a running back that I know carved it up against the Saints for a few years with the Falcons. There might be a little bit of a, who the hell is this guy? I don't want him. He went and tore us up. He made all this. He's an NFC South guy. He's this. He's that. Whatever. 2022, he hasn't played. The stats, they're pretty good. 4.5 or 4.3 average last season. 3.2 average in 2020, 3.6. So, I mean, 2021, he had a little bit of a step up whenever he played for the Ravens and One other team, and it's slipping my mind, and I'm so sorry about that, guys, but he played for 2 separate teams last year and managed to still put up some pretty solid numbers. He hasn't played this season, and it's one of those – it was just the Ravens last year, excuse me. So sorry about that. But he played pretty solid last year. He managed to do some good things. He's a player that the Saints are familiar with. He knows how to win in the NFC South. Again, I'm not talking about a running back one. I'm not talking about somebody who's going to take over Alvin Kamara's spot. I'm not talking about somebody who will even take over Mark Ingram's spot. I'm just saying somebody who will help him out. Somebody who will take some snaps off him. Somebody who will take some pressure off him. Because, like I said earlier, Dwayne Washington ain't doing nothing. Like, maybe it's worth bringing in another running back. Maybe they aren't liking what they're seeing out of Dwayne Washington. Again, I'm not quite sure what the deal is there, but I think it could work out. And my whole thing about this, guys, and why I want to talk about free agents so quickly is because at the end of the day, I'm very happy the Saints didn't make a trade. I really didn't want to see the Saints trade away any players. I didn't want to see him trade away Alvin Kamara, obviously. But Michael Thomas, no, I don't want him traded away. Shy Tuttle, no, don't want him traded away. Cam Jordan, Marcus Davenport, Jarvis Landry, Tyron, no, get out of here. Stop that. But I wouldn't have minded a trade for a running back, and that's why I bring up DeVonta Freeman and David Johnson. That's the only position I would have been like, maybe we can get that, we can work that out. Maybe the Kareem Hunt. Apparently they were only asking for a 4th. Probably should have tried and seen if you can make it happen. I don't know if it would have, but I bring up the running backs anyway. Another one, and don't click out of the video. I swear, hear me out on this. It's just for fun. It's just for fun. Do not click out of the video yet. Yes, Antonio Brown is on your screen. But hear me out on this, guys. Just hear me out really, really quickly. So if Antonio Brown were to come play for the Saints, he'd get to play against Tom Brady. And we clearly know that him, Tom Brady, Giselle, they have a weird little thing going. So get him back to see Giselle in Tampa Bay. You might get to do a little this, a little bit of that. I don't know. But he is still a talented wide receiver. All jokes aside, he is a talented wide receiver. He puts up good numbers. And maybe you could get him for pretty cheap because he just wants to get back in the NFL. Maybe, I don't know. His rap career is clearly not taken off at all. But could you get him for cheap? The stats? 42 receptions, 545 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 13 yards yards on average per game. I mean, that's not bad in 7 games, guys. I mean, it's not terrible, and I know that this is ridiculous. And I'm not sitting here saying the Saints should sign him. I'm not going to sit here and argue it. But he's one of the top wide receivers available, so we have to mention him. But I will ask you this: in terms of divas, ridiculous wide receiver drama, which wide receiver would you want to put up with more? Which one would you pick? Would you type OBJ for Odell Beckham Jr.? Would you type AB for Antonio Brown? Let me know because I'm really curious about this. I would be typing my OBJ. I think AB is an absolute basket case, but he is a good wide receiver. And don't act like it wouldn't be hilarious to see him and Giselle and Tom Brady all in the same city. It would just be so funny. And I bet that Tom Brady would get really mad about that. And if you want to bet, you should go check out our Proud Sportsbook, chatsports.com/bet. Use promo code CHAT125. And what that means is you put down $100. You get a $125 deposit bonus. So you have $225 of lettuce to lay down on the Saints, the Pelicans, who are freaking hot. We own the Lakers. F LA, F LeBron. Let's go Pels, baby. I mean, it's been a fun season so far. The Pels are hot. You bet on the Saints. You bet on college football, LSU, name it. They got it. Go check them out. Chatsports.com/bet. Use promo code CHAT125 to get started with BetUS. Next player I'm going to talk about, Kevin King. It's going to be pretty similar to the same reasons that I mentioned Sidney Jones. Cornerbacks are banged up. They need a little bit of help. But Sidney Jones is one of those guys that Kevin King is one of the guys, maybe you could get somebody who can bring you some pass breakups, maybe some turnovers, some tackles for sure. Sidney Jones, I keep getting their names confused. I'm sorry, guys. Kevin King is a guy that I wouldn't necessarily go and pay the bag for, but in terms of giving some help out to the cornerbacks, sure, why not go give him a call and see what's up? But let's not discredit Alontae Taylor. He's stepped up tremendously. Alontae Taylor has just blown out of the water of all expectations of what I had. I mean, I remember on draft day, on day 2, the Saints pick comes in, and it's Alontae Taylor out of Tennessee. And I turn over to Matthew Peterson. He's a Tennessee alum. Shout out Tennessee. Shout out Rocky Top for beating Bama, F Bama. But I literally was like, Petey, who is this guy? Who is he? I know nothing about him. I don't. What is he known for? And he was like, he's swaggy. He's confident. He's got a lot of charisma and a lot of energy. And I was like, okay, it fits the Saints defense. And look at this. Look at this. 90 coverage snaps, 16 targets, and 5 receptions allowed, 51 yards allowed, 4 pass breakups, and 0 touchdowns. Alontae Taylor? Are you kidding me? Have a freaking day, rookie. Have a freaking few weeks, man. This guy has blown it out of the water. He has blown it out of proportion. I don't know how you could not be amped up about this guy. And I said maybe sign Sidney Jones. I said maybe sign Kevin King. But I think you're fine with Alontae Taylor, but he is a rookie. Get him some help. But, let's just show some love to the rook. Get down in the comments and spam 27. Go down, type 27. Type it 27 times for all I care. We love you, Alontae Taylor. Here at Saints Now by Chat Sports, I'm man enough to admit I didn't know what to think at first, but, bro, you're the man. You are the frickin' man. And you know who else might be the man at edge rusher? Everson Griffen. Everson Griffen might be somebody you want to look at. He might be somebody you want to bring in to help with some QB pressure, stopping the run, stopping the pass. He has some pretty good numbers from last season, 15 tackles, 4 tackles for loss, 5 sacks, 10 QB hits. Not terrible, not great. Everson Griffen might be a good player to bring in to help out with the pass rush and to help boost the Saints defense, who has, like I said, been struggling, but they're now finding the groove. Last name, Jaquiski Tartt. And if you're reading this as Jaquiski Tartt, it's because that's what it looks like. And I had Matthew Peterson literally correct me 3 different times on this, which is my own damn fault. But Jaquiski Tartt, he was recently with the San Francisco 49ers, then moved over to the Philadelphia Eagles, had some success there, 66 tackles, 5 tackles for a loss, a pass breakup. Not terrible, not bad. I like him. I think that he could do some pretty good. He could do some good at the safety position, but let's not act like the safety position is loaded. I mean, Marcus May has been doing pretty good. We like what we've seen from Marcus May. Tyrann Mathieu is the only one with an interception, and I love Tyrann Mathieu, but come on, we got to get more than 2 picks. Justin Evans, he's, the nickelback kind of corner. I mean, it's just the safeties. I just don't feel comfortable with Dan Sorensen being pretty high up on the safety depth chart. That's just, if you disagree, I don't know what to tell you, man. But if you made it this far in today's show, go down in the comments, type real one, because you, my friend, are golden. You, my friend, are a real one. And you, my friend, are the reason the Saints are who they are. Join the Who Dat Nation. Subscribe. Go down if you're subscribed and you comment real one and you made it this far. I'm going to give you a shout out. I'm going to give a shout out to the first 10 people who do it. So, better be quick.